We are in the BI platform studio, and I'm speaking with Barry Devlin, who will be having a session on our conference, the Data Warehousing and BI Summit in March. The session is entitled Cutting Data Fabric and Mesh to Measure. Barry, can you briefly explain the overall goal of the session?
Yes, the overall goal really is to just take a look at and explain the difference between data fabric and data mesh. These two topics have become really popular in the last, I suppose, 6 months to a year. And yet there are a huge number of different explanations, different descriptions about what they are, conflicting descriptions and so on. And the purpose of this session really is just to sort that out, give you a view of what it is that these two things are, and try to position them very briefly against the familiar topics of data warehouse and data lake.
Yeah. And can you briefly walk us through the topics that you will be covering in the 1 hour session?
Yes, I can. Basically, I'm going to first of all give a very brief overview of what data fabric and data mesh actually are. I'll use some of the definitions and some of the materials that are available on the internet, but I will interpret them in my own way. And then I will take a look at the differences between them and what are the key points that we need to look at when we're actually deciding between one or the other, because in fact, they're quite different. Data fabric coming from the analyst community and being very much around products and what they can do, whereas data mesh comes from a very different community of people who are very deep into building cloud-based and those type of environments. And so they have a very different view as to what they might be. So I'll tell you why you might want to use them, which one you might choose, what are the roadblocks to each of them, and I suppose the circumstances under which you might use them or when you might want to start using them, because nobody is starting from a green field anymore. So the question will always be, when should I start? How should I get started, whether I'm coming from a warehouse or when I'm coming from a data lake, and what are the differences when I do that?
Okay, interesting. Well, thank you very much, Barry, and looking forward to your session.
Me too also.